Today, I want to show you how you can set up native link handling inside of your WeWeb mobile application using the Despia plugin. It's super simple, so let's get right started with that. First of all, we want to make sure that we have the Despia plugin component on the top of the page, even though it is actually not really needed for this functionality, as we're just doing normal redirects that can actually natively be set up in WeWeb. But you probably want to have it on the page for other native functionalities. So let's take a look in how we can go on a payment page, such as this Stripe payment link here. Now, if you are already familiar with the App Store rules, you know that you have to open this in Safari. It is not allowed to open payment links inside of an in-app tab. So let me show you how you can set that up. Let's add a button to our WeWeb application here, and let's call this Stripe, right? Because this is a payment button. And I will go inside of here, and I will go on my workflow, and I will just go and do a navigation. So I will go navigate to, and then I'm just taking an external link, which I'm getting here from Stripe. Beautiful. And then I'm going to put the external link right inside of here. And then when you do open a new tab, you just turn that off. Now here's the thing. If I click on that, it will open this always by default in the application in a new in-app tab. So how do we get this to open this in Safari so we are compliant? Inside of the Despia editor, you want to go to in-app link handling, and you want to whitelist under open always in browser by .stripe.com or whatever your payment processor's URL domain is. You just put the root domain inside of here. So all URLs with this domain will open in Safari. And you got other settings like never open in browser, always open in app, where it always opens it in an in-app tab. But in-app tabs are the default in Despia. So you can just, force it to open it in Safari if you want to. And if you set that up, you need to rebuild the application so that it sets that up for you. Perfect. So now we have that example opening it inside of the browser, the native browser of the device. Now, how do we do it if we want to open it inside of the normal tab inside of the application in a in-app browser? For that, we can add another button, and that button will be in-app browser. Look at that. In-app browser, perfect. So let's set something up, and also let me show you how you can navigate out of the in-app browser. So let's go in here, let's add a workflow, let's do a navigate to, and now we're doing external link. And now we're taking an external link. I actually have a link to an external WeWeb project here. So let's copy that link here, beautiful, and let's go to this external URL here, and let's put this inside of here, right? You can also do this dynamically, of course. And I just do open a new tab on. You don't necessarily need to turn it on, but it's just best practices turning that on. So it also works the way you want it inside of your web application. So now we're opening this in a new tab. This will open a new application. Now the question is, if I'm opening this in-app tab, how do I close the in-app tab? That is actually very cool. If we take a look at the page that we're navigating to, inside of here, if I go on this back to app button, I'm actually running a workflow on here that goes to the deep link of the mobile application. So I'm registering my deep link scheme here by doing my app : / query parameter link, and then I put the link to the page that should be open when the session is done. Now keep in mind, this can have a query parameter holding your OAuth authorization token. So this is also how you can set up third-party OAuth mechanisms inside of Despia. Super cool. So let's close this. Let's make sure this is deployed for example purposes. And also let's make sure that this is deployed. So let's also deploy this live application here, where we can go to the in-app browser and we can go here to Stripe into Safari. And we can also go back from the in-app browser into a specific page in the native mobile application, giving you this whole native browser lifecycle. So we got it deployed. Also, the nice thing about Despia is you got over-the-air updates, meaning you can update those things without having to wait 10 days for app review to approve your changes, so you can fix critical things immediately, and it is 100% compliant with the app stores. So let's open the application here and let's take a look at that. So as you can see, the app is nicely starting. So let's click on Stripe. As you can see, this will now open Stripe in the native browser, which is exactly what we want. And this is how we get this published on the App Store. Those are the regulations you have to do with this external link handling that Despia supports. And now let's open this link in the in-app browser. You see, it opens my other WeWeb project in the in-app browser. Now, normally you need to click on this close button to close the in-app browser, which is very inconvenient and pretty bad if you're using this for OAuth mechanisms. But now with this custom deep link that you can run, like my app : query parameter, link equals, and then you just take the URL that should be going back to your application. That could be your OAuth success redirect page. You can click on back to app, and as you can see, it reloads the page in the app. So I have this full life cycle where I can go on in-app browser. It opens the in-app browser, and the example assume that it will do an OAuth mechanism, and then it goes back to a redirect URL that would, be appended to the deep link scheme, and then it will open that page in the native mobile app, setting the cookie, if you want to set it up that way, in the mobile app, allowing you for the first time to implement third-party OAuth providers that, do not require the native OAuth SDK, which we will also make available for Google OAuth. But you can also set up your own OAuth. So let's say you have 5 apps on the App Store that are all branded on your specific page, and you have like oauth.myapp.com. So you have your own custom OAuth mechanism for your app ecosystem. This new way of allowing you to use the in-app browser with a redirect back into the application using this new deep link scheme will support custom OAuth protocols that may be used by your apps, just like this, which is actually a big update that is finally available, allowing you to really build custom things inside of Despia, especially for SSO and all those kinds of custom implementations. So there you have it. That's how simple you can work with in-app link handling inside of your WeWeb mobile application using Despia. Take care and see you in the next video.